Hello children, how are you all? And let's begin with our history class again. Civics salient features of the constitution we finished in the last week. And in class 9th history, interesting factor is this, that you began right from the Indus Valley, and you'll be covering till modern history of the Western world even. So can you imagine the three periods of history in which it is divided? You did this in class 6 if you remember. Ancient, medieval and modern, all you are going to cover in your class 9th history book, and that too in very less chapters. So don't think the task is very tedious, but class 9th history book has been designed in such a manner that even if you are doing it for the last time, I keep telling you this, that if you're not opting for history in like later classes, then also they are trying to give you everything in nutshell, so that now when you are big enough, now you are more receptive, intelligent enough to understand what is what, they are giving you full understanding of all three periods of history. So now we in this chapter will be the Sangam Age, chapter 5, will be touching the history of South India. And sadly children, in all your history books you might have noticed that history of India, I think you understand, you can recall, was written by in fact it began with the efforts of the British. So Indians didn't write their history, and there has been sort of no effort also to rewrite the history, so to speak. So they sort of gave attention to North India more, and Southern India was somewhat I would say ignored. So in class 7th history book you read only a few pages about them. In class 9 they are here in front of you in a form of a chapter, while if we talk about North India, you have chapters after chapters and we read about them. But it's not that nothing happened over there. Glorious history of South India we have with us. We have now thankfully, now with the help of technology, you have everything on your platter and you can click and you can get to know. Many of you might have visited South Indian states, so you are aware of the rich cultural heritage they have. In fact, so to speak, culture is preserved in better way in South India if we compare it with North India. So this would be my request, that when we are doing this chapter, I'll be showing you a few video clippings, so that about these dynasties also, which we are going to talk about in the chapter, you are at least familiar with the names, because they have covered it in few pages, but these pages are hundreds of years, and their history is important. We are talking about the same country. It's not when we are talking about South India, we are talking about some other country. So the chapter which you are going to do is important in all respect. The topic says, the chapter's name says the Sangam Age. And children, if you remember, when we were talking about the revised syllabus, I told you there is a syllabus box in the beginning of every chapter, and that syllabus box you have to review as per the revised syllabus which part of the chapter you are going to read. So within 5 minutes when I am talking to you, you need to find out, and I want this answer in the chat box, that which headings, which part of the chapter we are going to do. Chapter 5 I am talking about, keeping in mind writing of examination. Though I'll be doing the whole chapter with you. When I was doing chapter 3 civics, I told you history civics cannot be done in bits and pieces. We have to tell you the things in sequential chronological order. But yes, from the point of view of exam, what things are important, that also you need to know. So check in your revised syllabus, mark it in your syllabus box, and we are ready. In the meantime, I am talking about Sangam Age to you. Now, when we are going to talk about the Sangam Age, let's understand the meaning of this word first. Sangam, it's Hindi word. If we would have been in school, answer would have come by now, that ma'am, Sangam is in Prayagraj and there are 3 rivers. I'm not going to tell you the names even, and that is the meeting point, confluence of these 3 rivers is known as Sangam. You're right, that is Sangam. whether we talk about ocean and rivers, or in terms of people also, large gatherings, they are also known as Sangam. But we are talking about Sangams, which were three in number, which happened in South India, and they were attended by a galaxy of poets, playwrights, authors. Even it is said in the first Sangam, gods came from heaven, and they also took part in it. Don't ask me how to prove it, but yes, it is written in the text. Earlier it is said, that this was between this God's place, heaven and earth. They used to come and go very often. Arjun went how many times to help out devtas. So similarly, this also is famous. So these Sangams which we'll be talking about in this chapter, they are three in number, and they talk about the confluence, large gathering of the learned people, so to speak. These days also we have literary festivals, but they are very small scale if we compare them with this what we are talking about. So Sangam, I believe you are clear about. Sangam is confluence in good English, meeting in simple English, and when we talk about people in terms of that, we can call them gathering also. So South India and North India, they were not as accessible, or rather I should say, to the North Indian. Southern India was not as accessible as it is today. If you go by airways, you can reach the same day in a few hours. And South India, earlier it was kind of impossible to go over there. Imagine to go over there. We find this man mentioned in our ancient text, like Rishi Agatsya. I'm repeating, Rishi Agatsya, who is one of those Saptarshi constellation which you see at night. Go today outside and see. If there will not be clouds will not be there, you will be able to see. But remember this, today with the help of internet, this has become possible, children, that you can surf more about these things. Find out about Rishi Agatsya. He was very interesting personality, and a person to revere. Saptarshi title you don't get just like that. He was included in that. So this mention is there that Devtas told him to leave Kashi, Varanasi and go to South India. And why like this? So that this meeting with South Indian people could start. Side by side, the language, Tamil was used in these Sangams. And like we talk about Sanskrit, children, so similarly, Tamil is also one of the oldest surviving language of the world. Those Dravidians, if you remember when we did about Vedic age, then there were two theories. One which says that Aryans came from Central Asia, and Sanskrit was the language of Aryans. So there is this school of thought also that these southern people who were living in southern India, Dravidians, they were already here, and Aryans who came from Central Asia, they pushed them to South India and they started living here. And the language of which Dravidians used was Tamil. I'll be showing you a short video on Tamil also, and find out more about it. So today basically I'll not begin with the chapter, but I would like you to see the videos which I'll be in minutes to come I'll be giving you, because this chapter deals with the three very major dynasties of South India, Chola, Chera, Pandya, and about them, though these videos are very short, but you will at least get to know who were they, because when we'll start reading about them, then you'll have a certain background with you, and one on Tamil. So today, just read the first page of this chapter which we are going to begin with, and if possible, these videos you will be seeing in this period, but see them afterwards in the evening also, so that you can make connection with these names, as soon as when we talk about in the second paragraph, also only these three names of these three kingdoms are written, Cher, Pandya and Chol. So at least you will be able to identify, okay, what we are talking about. So these names may find strange to you, but similarly, if you go in South India, your name will be strange for them. So we need to look at each other with respect. That's what I want to tell you. So in the remaining time period of the period, we'll be making ourselves familiar with these, the history of South India, so to speak, which is glorious. Thank you.